Hang on, folks. I'm here. You can hear me. I'm trying to get people invited here. So just bear with me for a little bit. Got to try to get these things set up a little earlier, I think. I think that would be wise, but sometimes time-consuming, and I don't always have it. None of us do some days. Hope everybody has a good Saturday so far. Everybody's enjoying your weekend, getting fat and sassy, having a good day. Let me see. So yeah, just got done getting a little bit of food in my stomach, finally, for the day. It's been pretty busy since Thursday. I've been kind of running my butt off, but stuck here on the computer, really. Running my fingers off is more like it, between the phone and the websites and the newspapers and Facebook here, and the private messages that have been happening. It's pretty crazy. Been picking up really good. So we're getting a lot of good, a very good response throughout the neighborhood, throughout the state. Having a lot of people call in or call me or private message me. How do we help? What can we do? I want a petition. Where we go, all this kind of stuff. So, what's next? Where do I get signatures and all the ins and outs? Trying not to leave anybody out, but this thing only allows me to get so far with invitations. So if I'm missing you, I apologize. I'm not doing it on purpose. Invite other people in. The free conference call is going right now. If people want to call in to have questions, that number is 515-604-9826. Access code is 832160. That's set up for questions and answers right now, so you can call into that. If you want to get on, you can also type your questions here in the chat box if you'd like. I think I hit these two maybe, so I don't know for sure. We'll hit them again for good measure. I know I got back on Chad. Steve. I need a new mouse. This one's driving me nuts. Sometimes I just don't like working. It's a pain. Sound like I heard somebody there. Hang on a minute. Did somebody say something over there? Nope, nobody said something over there. Thought I heard something, and all I heard was music. So, yeah, over the last couple of days, obviously, I've been talking to quite a few people, personal message, calls on the phone, and others through just Facebook itself. A lot of people interested, a lot of people sharing the message, that we've got our petition approval. It's up to us to turn around and actually put on, turn around and get our signatures, and right tonight I wanted to go over, and I'm still, adding people here. Tonight I want to go over, our, what I will call our regional district leaders or county leaders. We need people to step up into the role of county leader or district leader, where we get somebody from county A, B, or C, and they want to know what they can do to help. Instead of them talking to me directly, I can say, well, go talk to person A in this county or person B in that county. This is the regional coordinator. Oh, you want to do a fundraiser in your county? You want to have a meeting? Talk with our regional coordinator. This way it allows us to have good communications up and down and up. A lot of these other groups out there are doing this kind of top-down filtered thing, and we need bottom-up communication. We need to hear from you. We need you to get vocal. We need you to ask questions, and we need you, obviously, to step up. So if most of those people out there that can help out with petitioning, they're getting vocal, and, you know, and this is what this county leader. So if you're in an area and you're willing to do more than just sign the petition or get a couple signatures, if you're willing to hold petitions for us, clean ones, blank ones for people in your county, people in your community, you know, that would be great, because we need places where you can put them. We'll have the PDF, and I'm setting up this database that we're going to be able to utilize for contact of our petitioners and our supporters, as well as I have access to another database thanks to one of our supporters, Jeff, who is going to be able to make our jobs getting signatures from those people who have already signed a past cannabis legalization petition. We're going to have access to that database, but we need some people to help volunteer to organize that database. It's a slow process. There's 50,000 sheets that need to be organized into the counties. We've got 83 counties. These are PDF scans of a sheet. So you have to look at the sheet and say, okay, it's Midland County, put it in the Midland County folder. And if it's Saginaw County or Washtenaw County, then if these volunteers, they'll go into this database. It's a Google Documents, so you'll have to download Google Documents if you want to help do this. And when you get into Google Documents, then you'll turn around and keep inviting people here. You'll turn around and be able to log into the Google Documents in this database, and then be able to help sort these emails or sort these petition sheets. And then as the county coordinator or the regional coordinator, you got people that want to get signatures. You can give them signature sheets, let them go on their own willy-nilly. If they want to kind of just go canvas, that's a beautiful way of collecting signatures. Make sure everybody's following the rules. Make sure they're well trained. They know how to follow. You know, make sure they get a good signature. But we'll also be able to get access to this database, and then somebody will be able to click on Midland County, and they'll have everybody's name and information available, because it's publicly available information of who signed a previous petition to legalize marijuana in the state of Michigan. And instead of trying to randomly choose people and find them, we'll be able to target people who will sign the petition because they already signed a marijuana petition last year for legalization. So we'll actually have a captured audience of customers in this database. So this database, this access one that we can access onto Google Documents, is going to be an excellent resource for anybody in any county in Michigan under the Abrogate system. And so we want to make sure we take great in as much interest in activity into that as we can get, because that's, you know, that's like going up to somebody who's a sure buy with a candy cane, and you know they're going to buy the candy cane. These people already signed, so really good chance they'll sign the Abrogate. Now here's the beautiful part. There's about 350,000 names on these in this database, in these lists. Pretty much everybody, all the signatures we need is in this database. So we add that into what people go out and petition, canvas on their feet in blood, sweat, and tears with, as well as the push we're getting and the help and support we're getting with the dispensaries from Detroit, and what we're going to get out of Lansing, as well as up in Gaylord and Traverse City, as in the UP. We should be able to knock this out with this targeted database. We might be able to knock this out in a few months before snow falls if we really push hard. But that's where we need you. We need people to step up and say, I can help. I know how to do things on the computer. I can help sort the database, or I can help run the county and make sure that our petitioners in my county know how to sign the petition, know how to canvass for signatures, get their questions answered. I can make sure that if we have any questions, we can get the answers for them by talking to you or Dana, or by you I mean me, Dana or anybody else up here that's, you know, thinking about this thing and you know, have an idea how we should propone it, you know, so we can get these questions answered for everybody down low. So there's, you know, just so many different things that we need to go over. Okay, I'm gonna keep checking in that once in a while. As long as there's music, there's nobody in there. So I'm still trying to invite people here, so bear with me as well. Just because I've got a lot of people, but I haven't hit everybody yet. I tagged a lot of people, and hopefully that'll work. Next time I'm going to try to do this a little bit earlier. So yeah, our county people, you know, the people that we want, or people that want to help in the county or at the regional level, think like a district level, a county organizer, if you will. We'll get petitions into your hand. We'll get PDF into your possession, so you can get signatures for people or petitions for people to go if they want to get them. But I want to keep a chain of command on even the PDF. So if you give the PDF file to Josie Public over here or Timmy Tomorrow over there, that you write down their names and their contact information. Something happens to you, that information is available to the rest of the campaign, so we can contact Josie or Timmy and say, hey man, so-and-so had an issue. What can we do for you? Do you have signatures that you need to turn in? And keep up with them. Redundancy is in, you know, this is not a redundancy, backup systems. Having 3 ways to do something instead of one. So if you put all your eggs in one basket and you drop the basket, you've lost all your eggs. We need to have a little redundancy, and that's where I want to kind of push this thing into. So we have some backup, and you know, if I pass or get in a car accident and flip and die on the way to a meeting, somebody can step up and take this baby over and finish it out. So that's about what we're at with it. Now we've got, I want to thank Rudy Gamo. Rudy, thank you very much. I don't know if you're listening, if you're going to listen later. Rudy gave us a $1,000 donation to help get us off the ground. That's huge. That's a killer donation. We'll take $1, $5, $20, $100, $1,000, a $10,000 donation. We're not going to be shy. We're a political campaign committee. We do need to make up and push some numbers around and get some money. We need a couple $1,000s to get 50,000 petitions printed and have some money to mail them around the state. You know, a couple 2,500 to get there. Rudy's 1,000 is going to get us off the ground. We need money to drive to meetings. We need money to book meetings. Now, you regionals are people who want to be district managers. You can do all that. I mean, you don't need, nobody needs my permission to do anything. We just got to remember this is a legitimate political campaign, so there are rules that we have to follow. Everybody's got to follow them. I have more rules to follow because it's the actual ballot campaign, so I got to be very particular about how I kind of do things, or I could run myself into trouble. Nobody wants to get in trouble. But this is a legal document. It's a contract with ourselves and our other citizens in the state of Michigan, and that's why we need to handle it that way. Now, yesterday, what I think it was when I had my Facebook meeting, I was talking about petitioning and presentable. Now, obviously, if you're going to a cannabis function, you're going to a Buck Cherry concert, a country concert, a reggae concert, you're going to a pothead festival, dress accordingly. But when you're out in public and trying to think public perception is what we're fighting for here. We're fighting to legalize cannabis across the board, but politics is a public position, and we got to, this is a political issue, and we have to keep that in mind when we're doing this. So, just keep those things in mind. But yeah, as far as the community leaders, the basic job is to, you talk to somebody, or somebody, find somebody somewhere and they need help, and we can send them to you because you're in their community, the county, or the regional. And they say, well, where can I get petitions, or where can I sign? Where can I, hold a fundraiser or a meeting? I'd like to do something to help. What can I do? Instead of everybody trying to contact me, you guys can take some of that load off and take responsibility and just help these folks out. And this is nothing more than what I'm doing now, answering questions, giving them the information they need, training them, and that's probably what our next one will do, is training on petitioning. So we got some training on how to actually sign right. We'll get one of those done real soon. Now the database that I'm working on, so when we have petition sheets that we hand out, so somebody, I give them to my niece Aubrey, and I can say I gave Aubrey 100 of them. Or I give them to anybody else, I can say they got 50 of them. And then we can call you back and harp on you about getting them back filled out. Doesn't do us no good to give you empty petition sheets if we never get them back filled. I got to have petition sheets. There's no digital signatures. There's no online signatures that you can do for a ballot question committee. It must be ink on paper. And please, only black ink. We can use blue, but blue smears really easy. If you smear a name across a sheet, you can waste the entire sheet. So black ink it dries very fast. It smears almost never. It does smear, but it's much harder to be smearing and smudging. So, and you can't use any other color than blue or black. So when we're petitioning or getting signatures, black ink, please. 8x14 legal boards. This is some things we've got. We passed out a lot of them last year. People still have them. So please make use of those boards. But we've got a few around, but we could use more boards. So if people want something to donate and you can't help us get signatures, but you want to help out, you can help us organize meetings. You can help us organize fundraisers. You can help us organize advertising awareness, or just spreading the news. Sharing is caring, don't you know? You can help by organizing, helping out get the database organized, and helping out get petitioners in places. You don't have to go out and collect signatures, but that is the biggest one that we need. Out of all the volunteers we need, people getting signatures are going to be the biggest. No signatures, no ballot access, no ballot access, no lawful marijuana in Michigan. And quite possibly regulated alcohol or marijuana like alcohol, if the other one gets their signatures and go through it. They think they might. In this potential they might, and at that point it's a ballot fight. Now it's been asked a couple times, is there any conflict? Is there anything like that? No, we are not in conflict with regulated marijuana like alcohol. It's statutory initiative. We are actually constitutional amendment. Both petitions can qualify for the ballot. Both petitions can go to the ballot. Both petitions can be on the ballot, and neither one conflicts with the other. What does take place is if both are on the ballot and both pass and get adequate votes, which is potentially possible, there's no conflict. Abrogate strips out all the limitations, all the fines, all the penalties, and all the craziness that's left in CRLMA's, regulate marijuana like alcohol. It basically would leave the state a nice structure for the recreational retail market with no fines or penalties and no excise taxes. They would strip out their taxes. Now we gotta, I'm gonna mention this for a minute. CRLMA has 10%, a fairly modest excise tax, use tax, and a sin tax. Maine in 2016 just recreationally passed recreational marijuana with 10% tax, and their legislation promptly opened up their Maine bill that voters just gave them and turned it up to 28% income or excise tax for recreational pot in Maine. So Maine didn't even have the ink dry from the vote, and legislation took it and hiked it. We, under this particular language, does not allow any excise taxes. All the all the sales taxes, all the business taxes, all the capital gains taxes, all the income taxes, which are voluntary, are all going to be there. You cannot go buy a tomato without paying some taxes in the tomato's price. People say, we don't pay taxes on food. You're right, we don't. But the businesses who put that tomato on the shelf do pay taxes, and their taxes that they pay are in the price of the tomato that we pay for. We just don't pay tax at the register for sales tax. Well, under Abrogate, you'll get all those other taxes except that use tax, that sin tax. That's out of the way. They won't be able to add on 10%, 20%, 40% taxes on recreational retail marijuana or any kind of marijuana, because it eliminates the taxes. So, that's a big one on those tax issues. Now, these are all questions that our regional people, in our county captains, organizers, goodness, a little bit of hiccups. Captains and organizers are going to have to be able to question and answer too. So we got somebody that came in here to ask a question. Why don't you go ahead, tell us who you are if you want to, and then hopefully people will be able to hear you and go ahead and ask the question. Somebody's in there. If you got a question, if you're listening to me on the free conference call and you got a question, you got to push, I think it's number 6, and it pops up a queue, and that's what allows you to hear. I don't know if we'll be able to hear you if you're trying to speak. I see someone's in there. Somebody from 810. Let me do this. I'll unmute you if I can get my mic to work. Come on. There it is. Now you're unmuted. 810, you got something to say? Go ahead. If you don't, just say no and I'll put you back on mute.
Hey, Jim, William Doyle.
William, how you doing, sir?
Not bad, sir. When are you supposedly getting petitions into circulation?
Well, I'm hoping soon. Now, I know a lot of people want to start as soon as possible. Dana wants to make sure she can get the Labor Day bridge. That's the beginning of September. I'm hoping that I'm hoping we'll have everything ready to go and we'll be able to start getting petitions out, if not Monday, under the PDF file. Hopefully, within a couple of days under the PDF. I'm just trying to get a database so when we give the PDF down to somebody so they can download it, we have a way of contacting them. That way we can say how many petitions did you print, so we got an idea of how many petitions are in circulation and then how many signatures are sending back to us, obviously. That also gives us a chance to make sure that it's right. So, sorry about that. Go ahead.
One more question. What is our requirements? What is our signature limits we're trying to get?
We need 315,654 because we're a constitutional amendment that requires 10% of the last gubernatorial election. So just under 316,000. Our goal is 500,000. If we consider a 65% quality signature rate, then that will give us like 322,000 if we turn in 500,000 and 35% of them are bad. Now last year we were getting a 72 or 74% signature quality rate, so we were getting very good numbers. If we can maintain that, we should be able to do this quite easy.
Good deal. Okay.
Biggest thing is
like I told you in prior conversation via this meeting, I'm 100% for it. I'm going to get 100%. The only thing that I ask is I got something I do that the situation that nobody's, that's on here. It's federal situation. They should be out petitioning here in Marion County, which is against my #1 constitution for the United States.
Right, yeah.
All over votes,
Yeah. For people that are listening and for those people listening that aren't sure, William's the guy the story about petitioning in over in the Thumb and Bad Axe area. William's the guy who got some crap over that for exercising his First Amendment abilities. So, and yeah, the stories that are coming out aren't what happened at all.
Exactly. But like I say, I'm with you guys 100%. I'm backing you. All I need is somebody to back me, just in case they back me against the law again like they did this time.
Well, yeah.
I totally believe in this petition. I really didn't like the other petition, but it was still beginning until you get yours up and rolling.
Yeah.
For this petition 100%, and I've got a lot of people backing me.
Excellent. Love to have you and them, William.
As soon as, like I said, I've got more time than I got money, so,
Me too.
anytime that anybody needs anything in the Huron County or the Tribute County area, in the Thumb area, period, just hit me up on Facebook as well. So,
Excellent.
like I said, I'm with you guys 100%. And if you would hit me up and let me know if petitions are available, I can meet up with you.
Absolutely. Yeah, as soon as we, like I said, I'm just trying to get a database set up, and I've got this website, my web forum that I'm cleaning up and going to kind of, hide a bunch of stuff that is not relevant. It's got all 83 counties. And so there's a lot of people last year, and I know there's a lot of people this year who do not like Facebook. They will not join it. And we were unable to contact a lot of those people because a lot of stuff we do is on Facebook. So I've created this web forum, which didn't get a lot of use last year. But it's got all 83 counties in there. So everybody who wants to say, I would love to be a county captain, I would love to help out any way I can, you'll be able to join the web forum. It's free to join. Just go online, go to michican.us, michican.us, log in, join the forum. There's a county list section. It's kind of messy right now, but I'll be streamlining it over the weekend. There's a county list. You click on that, and all 83 counties are there. You can click on your county and say, here I am. What can I do? This is what I'm willing to do. This is what I can do, blah, blah, blah. Here's my address. And that gives us everybody's at least email address and contact information. And hopefully we can get some background phone numbers too, so we have that background conversation available with everybody, not just the people on Facebook and not just the other people. And this way, the only stragglers we have are the people who are really not online at all, that we have to personally contact these people and be in their face because they don't do internet any way, shape, or form.
Correct. And I've got a whole lot of older people in my county, in New York County, not familiar with the internet or the web, and don't even know how to turn on a computer. So therefore, I would go personally to them and I'm willing to volunteer to be a leader in Huron County for the county.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So this allows everybody, people don't even have to talk to me. You can just send them to the website, sign up, put your name in there. That gets us in their database, and then we'll link to the other database if they want to look at, Macomb County or Washtenaw or wherever they're at, Midland County. They can look in that other database and then see who is in that area that signed the petition already, and just go door knocking those people. And hell, people can make a day out of knocking doors of people who already signed last year. So you're almost getting a sure signature unless they're really upset over something.
Right on.
So,
all right, well, that's all I have to say. Thanks very much.
Excellent. Good questions. Thanks for calling in and asking. Anybody else you want to call in and ask, 515-604-9826. And I think you got to push 6 to come on the line. This way I know that you're there and you're ready to speak. So, I see a couple questions here on the text, because now I'm getting in here. Let me get in. Hello, everybody. Sorry, I'm just seeing these hellos in the evenings. Love to have you helping out and down there in Macomb, Frank. Gersh, you in Washtenaw, everybody else, wherever you're at. This is all hands on deck. Together we can do this. Not together, we've already lost. We don't need to be unified in anything other than repealing prohibition. I ain't got to agree with any of your other politics, your life choices, nothing. You ain't got to agree with mine, but we all agree it's time to end this insanity. And that's the way we need to go. Now let me keep looking here. Yeah, we got quite a few stores down in that whole area, Frank, and hopefully we're going to have a few more. We do have to be careful about stores. Now the big thing about it, and this is what William, they were implying that William did, is that he just kind of threw them out there willy-nilly. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you take a petition, empty one, and you into a tobacco store maybe, because a lot of tobacco stores carry petitions for this, and they're willing to accept petitions, they have to understand they have to witness the people sign the petition. People just can't kind of sign willy-nilly and nobody's paying attention. Somebody has to watch them sign the petition, and the person that watches that signature, that sheet, has to sign off at the sheet. They're the petitioner. And so, if the state calls somebody and they said they watched a person, they're going to have to potentially testify that they did see that. These could be some legal challenges that come against ballot question committees and signature campaigns and petition campaigns. So we want to be aware of those things. It's a lawful agreement. It's a lawful contract, and we want to actually treat it as such. Appreciate you showing up, Mr. Williams. So there was another question up here, I thought. How you doing, Jimmy? And Cherise. I might get everybody, but I might not. Hey, Bill. So let me take a look here, Scott. Yeah, the database thing, Bob, will be really cool because there's about 350,000 names of people who are already signed in the last year or so. So these are going to be good. Gerst, the petitions are two-sided. They must be one sheet of paper, legal size, 8 by 14, and they'll have to be signature side on landscape on one side and in portrait, the language on the other side. We can't tape them together or staple them together. We got to do one petition and print it on both sides. It's about 2 to 2.5 cents for printing at Staples. If you have a small number, of course, if you go to Staples at the PDF and you have them print off 1,000 or 100, the price goes down as you get more done through there. I'm looking at trying to collect $2,500 to print off 50,000 sheets and be able to help mail some of them around the state. We've got some of that money so people can donate. We got an official campaign system. It is not nonprofit, so there is no tax deductibility, although I am thinking about maybe starting a separate PAC as a nonprofit so what people can donate to the PAC and get their nonprofitability. And then the PAC can actually go beyond Abrogate Prohibition, Michigan, and actually potentially go throughout the nation or through the state on other issues. So I'm thinking about doing a PAC, but that's a little bit different down the road. Sydney, good to have you on board. Thank you, dealer. Yeah, and there'll be a lot of things going on around the state. What I'm hoping to do with as much online access is to let everybody do all the big work. The long distance work can be done online. That way, all you gotta do is really focus on your local county. I mean, last year we had people that were wanting to go around the state, and that's beautiful. But we need people to work their counties. A lot of people go to a lot of these, cannabis events, and a lot of the same people go to them. So I would suspect we're going to have people at every cannabis event, hopefully collecting signatures throughout the entire campaign that we're collecting. But we need people to focus on their county. So as much as you can drive all over the state, Sydney, I'd rather see you stay at home in your local area and work hard there, because you're going to know the people, you know the area, you know the ins and outs, and you're going to be more effective in your local neighborhoods. People get kind of, uncomfortable in areas they're not sure of. Yes, retroactive. Absolutely, Gersh, retroactive. And everybody can thank Dana for the retroactive language, Dana Carver. She's the one that put that in there. She's also the one that put in the language on the federal government can't give the state, the state can't accept any money from the federal government. And then I expanded it with or any other entity. So we don't have to deal with that so much. So yeah, if anybody wants to give a thanks for the retroactivity, thank Dana Carver. That's hers. No more parents, jail for parents. Chad, you're absolutely right, my friend. That's the big one. Nicole, yes, you do need to be a registered voter to sign the petition. So, of Michigan. So anybody who signs the petition must be a Michigan registered voter. A lot of people in Michigan are registered, but they've not updated, and they've moved a couple times since they registered. So they may need to re-register or update their information. We can go to the post office, the Secretary of State, or the county clerk's office and get voter registration forms and have those and get them filled out, and then make sure we turn them in or let the person take it and turn it in. But that way we can turn around and get people to get registered at their newest address, so when their signature is counted, it counts, and when they go to vote, they can vote where they go to vote at. So yes, you do have to be a registered voter to sign the petition. You do not need to be a registered voter to circulate it, but you do need to be an adult to circulate it. Well, I'm going to double check that. Don't hold me on that you don't need to be a registered voter, because out-of-state people have to give the county they are registered to vote in. So I'm going to say you probably do have to be a registered voter to circulate it as well. I'll verify that Monday. Monday is the meeting down for the MMFLA. On a side note, I'm thinking about going down myself. I'd like to be there and give them some pieces of my mind for dual purpose against the MMFLA on some of the stuff they're trying to do, as well as the MMFLA, the way it was implemented itself, or is being implemented over the MMA Act, as well as Abrogate. But that's for Monday for something different. So yeah, but that's what we're looking. No more jail time for anybody, Chad, unless you actually create a victim. Now look, you make hemp rope and you go hang somebody, you're going to be charged with murder. If you use an ounce of pot and you shove it down somebody's throat and choke them to death, you're going to be charged for murder. You won't be charged for an ounce of pot or hemp rope, but you will be charged for murder. Let's get this clear. We don't make pot legal to do anything with. You create a victim, there will be a crime. That's what you need to create a victim. But beyond that, no victim, no crime, baby. And that's the point. This database, I'm not sure, Gersh. 50,000, 60, 70,000 sheets. They're kind of being sorted already, but we need some help to people to log in on this Google Docs. And anybody that wants to help, let me know. I'll get you in contact with Jeff. He'll set you up a portal so you can get into Google Docs. And then what you'll do is you just go in and open up master folder or whatever, and then open up another folder. And if you see a petition that says Macomb County or Washtenaw County, you'll copy it and move it to the Macomb or Washtenaw County folder, or the Midland County folder, and go to the next one. And if it's Bay City, move it to the Bay County folder. If it's, you know, whatever county that petition's from, move it into that county folder. It's that simple. Anybody can do it. You know, drag and drop. But we need, you know, people too willing to do it and have at least a little bit of bills. But that's a roughly 350,000 names of signatures of registered Michigan voters who signed a legalized petition last year. So, or in 2015. So these are huge. I mean, this could be the entire numbers of what we need. And then you add in all the ground pounders, as I call them. You know, the guys are out there and the girls out there sweating and blooding and tearing all over, getting the signatures by the hard way off, you know, just knocking and calling, canvassing the streets. Now, some of the rules we need to make sure. You must be 100 feet away from any public property building entrance. The courthouse, the Secretary of State, anything like that, any public property, we cannot petition within 100 feet of the doorway, any of them. Any personal business, any other businesses, we have to ask permission. We don't want to stand in front of CVS and have CVS call the cops. Go into CVS and say, hey, I'm petitioning. Do you mind if I set up a table out here? Smoke shops, dispensaries would love to have you do that so they don't have to. They can deal with their customers and making money and doing business, and our volunteers, while they're there, can deal with getting signatures. Two things working together, coming together, working in conjunction, but not interfering with each other. Actually petitioning and helping each other. This is what we need to do. This is how we get this done. We don't get this done like this and fighting everybody. We need to come together on this. So we do need to look at that. So yeah, petitioning in front of stores is a great place, but get permissions first. Yeah, there's a lot of them. That's what we want to do, is talk to these owners, and a lot of them will allow us to put petitions in there. But please, anybody you go into, make sure that, you know, they understand the differences between us and our MLA, or even the version of MI legalized. You know, I explain it as the Second Amendment of cannabis legislation. You know, people think about that. Oh my God, you know, they get a little scary. And, you know, of course we got, you know, already our MLA, and there's other people out there saying, you know, it's willy-nilly, it's going to be the Wild West. No, it's not. Think of the Second Amendment. Are guns regulated by the state? Are guns and ammo regulated by the state? How easy is it for children to get a hold of guns and ammo? The Second Amendment of cannabis legislation is going to be no different. The state's going to make the legislation. They just can't make legislation that will diminish or prohibit use. They're going to make some taxes. They just can't make excise use sin taxes. Same tax. It's 3 different names for it, depending on where you're at and how it's legislated. So yeah, these are, you know, pretty much kind of the way we're going here. So no, the MMFLA Gersh is the medical law in place of the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act. That's the new one that they just passed, that they're trying to, you know, do their receipt to sale tracking for the medical stuff where they're getting the 3%. So yeah, fighting is getting us nowhere, but ran over and screwed over, Keith. That's a big one, you know. And I'm a contentious guy, believe me. I know. I'm an ex-husband. My ex-wife's favorite name for me was "you fucking asshole." So believe me, I know I'm contentious. But as contentious as I am, it's that contention against doing anything stupid anymore that doesn't allow me to do that shit. That's why I'm so headstrong on this. I'm pretty easygoing. I can be an asshole, but hey, you know, such is life. You don't have to love me. You don't have to like me. I don't care if we ever meet up again after this. I want to meet everybody. I want to hang out, party, smoke pot. But if you don't want to, I'm okay with that. Let's repeal prohibition and move on with our own damn lives then. With that being said, you know, you don't have to like anybody else in this movement, anybody else's position, what they're doing. We do have to like the idea of getting the government out of this mess sooner or later. So yeah, man, there's a lot there. So yeah, our county leaders, those people that want to, you know, send me a message, log into the web forum, michican.us, michican.us, just like Michigan with a C instead of a G. Go to the website. It's kind of full and thick, but I'm going to streamline it and clean it up, and there's going to be just a couple talking areas, some question and answer areas, and then each county. And then at some point here, I'm working to also get a front page, so when people go to the website, they'll actually go to an HTML site like a regular homepage instead of a forum, and the forum will be in the background, so it'll be a little bit easier to navigate for people. I've got an idea. We'll see a hand of Michigan, and that Michigan hand will have all counties listed out, and you hover your mouse over a county, and a blowout will pop out and give you some information, and then you can click on that and we'll take you directly inside the county. And that will give you details of what's going on inside the county too. So hopefully this will work out, you know, pretty decently in that respect. I'll need a couple days to clean it up, and then maybe a couple days to get it ready. I'm hoping by Monday to at least have things organized enough that we can start passing out the PDFs. It's going to be a while, or, you know, not a while. It depends on how soon we get enough donations to cover the printing costs. So the faster we get donations to come in to cover the costs, and we are an official ballot question committee. Anything over $20 that's going directly to the committee must be wrote out to Abrogate Prohibition Michigan. It can't be wrote out to me. It can't be wrote out to anything else. It must go to Abrogate Prohibition Michigan. Check, money order, or online PayPal donation is acceptable in this respect. We can take $20 cash donations up to there, but once we get petitions printed, then we'll be able to put them in the mail, drop them off. But until then, the PDF, you guys will be able to print out your own. And we got people who have access to quality printers. So if you do PDF it, I went out and bought a Canon printer from Wally World. It's a $30 printer. I'm not going to use it to print petitions. It prints okay, but it doesn't print lines really nicely. I won't be using that. So, you know, pay attention to the printer you do use if you PDF it. Make sure that it gives good quality petitions, because we don't want the state throwing out your 500 petition sheets because your printer printed improperly, or something wasn't quite right with the way it printed. So, you know, these are things we want to pay attention. Again, it's a legal contract, and it has to be in legal form and format, and that's part of the look and making sure it's properly printed and done right. So that has to be, you know, followed out in here too. Looking through here again. So let me take a peek. If anybody's got any questions, call in. The call-in number, if you want to call the conference call, is 515-604-9826. Access code is 832160. And then once inside, I think you need to push 6 if you want to ask a question. Or you can just type it up, and I'll ask it there. I'll see it and read it that way. Let me keep looking here. Thank you, Richard. I believe it is the best solution to rein in not only Lansing, like our grandparents and great-great-great-great-great-grandparents did for some of us. We can do the same thing they did in 1933 with alcohol prohibition, and we can rein in the federal government on this issue. Because once it goes in one state, I think just like alcohol prohibition, it's going to run like wildfire. Where we need to be more proactive than they were in 1933 is to stop this federal government from trying to legalize recreational marijuana and pigeonhole and everything behind that, like they did with alcohol. And I say this specifically, in 1917 is when the United States started making alcohol prohibition language and legislation, and it passed in 1920. Before 1920, alcohol problems as a society issue was only about 2 to 3% of society. Then we have the 13 years from 1920 to 1933 of legislated constitutional amendment, federal level alcohol prohibition. Alcohol society issues went from 3 to 4%, from 7 to 15%. Since 1933 to today, we've got what we call recreational legalized alcohol legislation. And I ask you folks, look around you today, and what is the alcohol problem in society today? And mind you, it's pushing 25, 35%, 20%. In Michigan, 1 out of 8 people, according to a recent study, are pretty much alcoholics or heavy drinkers. 1 out of 8. That's a lot of people drinking in Michigan. So alcohol prohibition created a bigger social public problem, health problem with alcohol, and then alcohol legalization tripled that problem, even quadrupled it again. So, this is how I kind of describe why we need the Second Amendment of cannabis legislation, because legalizing pot like booze only means you're going to be arrested like you're arrested for booze. Because booze is legal right up until you're under arrest. So let me keep looking here. I didn't miss too much, John. I mean, I know you're a little behind there. Basically, I've just been kind of talking about our county leaders, people who want to jump in. When you go to michican.us, I put the thing up there. We see if it's still my thing here. I think it is. No, not yet. I'll do it again. You can actually log in through Facebook. It may not be working. I may have to work with that, but otherwise it's just a name and username and email address, and then a confirmation on the email address. But you should be able to log in there and sign up with Facebook. But it's been the website here. The website's been empty, not used for a while. I've got to rearrange some things, so the login directly may not be working at this point. So you may have to go the hard way of logging in, or creating an account and signing up is just pushing the sign up and go that way. Yeah, sadly, Brandon, you're right. Just like being arrested for a medical marijuana while you're a hold a card. And we all know somebody like that. Is it? Great. Thanks, Gersh. Gersh says the Facebook sign up is working. So go over there, find the county area, say, I'm here, I'm ready to go, here's my contact information, let's get this party started, and get all your people who aren't Facebookers on there. There's 5, 6 different websites. I'm banned from a couple. I can't get on the Michigan Medical Marijuana Association. Even after being a moderator there for a year and a half, 2 years, I've been banned again because they don't like my form of truth. Oh, okay. Well, it's not a Facebook page. It's just logging in and signing up for the forum via Facebook. You can go to the forum at Michigan, and it says sign in with Facebook or sign up with Facebook. If that's what you use and it works, excellent. If not, let me know and I'll correct myself. You too, kid. Okay, William just dropped out, so I'm going to go out of that and kill that one out. Get rid of that noise. We don't need the background noise. But yeah, as far as the Facebook page, that's separate. Just the forum allows you to sign in through Facebook. I see I got an instant message here, so let me come over here. Okay. Give me a moment. And well, it's got a couple personal messages here I want to go. And get that one in there. I gotta move that so I can see. All right. Okay, I'll bump that down. All right. I'll kill that one down. Got a few of them that came up here. Bump that one down for now. Bump that one down for now. And Sydney, I think you're listening to me, Sunshine. If you go to the Abrogate discussion page, at the very top is a pinned piece that gives the language that you can share that Facebook page, or on Facebook anyways. And then I made a JPEG, but it's got a little misprint on the bottom of it. I'm going to go ahead and get that JPEG redone and make it look nicer, cleaned up so it doesn't have the one error in the language on it. So I'll get that one. So you made a new account on the website and you clicked the login with Facebook and it worked, is that correct? I tried logging in with my admin and I'm having issues. It's been a while since I've had to reset my passwords and I'm going to have to go in so I can get in there and start cleaning up. So that's where I'm going to be tricking that out. So yeah, I don't see anybody else's question. So if people that want to help petition, that's our biggest thing. The way I see it, if we have 500 hardcore on-the-ground petitioners, whether we're using the database and looking up addresses and phone numbers and looking up people that way, we're standing on the street corner in front of a business, we're inside a dispensary. If we have 500 hardcore petitioners, each petitioner needs 1,000 signatures within 180 days. So that's about 5.5 signatures a day. If we have 1,000 petitioners, each petitioner only needs 50 signatures in 180 days. That's less than one every 3 days. So if we can get 1,000 hardcore Michiganders, hardcore cannabis advocates, hardcore cannabis activists, hardcore potheads, hardcore people who believe it's time to make government smaller, end the war on drugs, and repeal prohibition across the board, 50 signatures out of 1,000 people each in 180 days. There's no reason we can't do this and do it maybe before the snow falls if we put our hearts into it. And that's all we really need to do. We need to not say maybe, not say what if, say yes, I cannabis. Let's get this done. So, is there anybody else out there got any questions? If you do, type them up. I hear music. You can call into the call-in number 515-604-9826. Access code 832160, and then push number 6 to get a question in. I'll keep us open a little bit. From here on out, we can just kind of go over stuff. Let me think what some of the things we can go over. Everybody got a question or a topic that they got some information that I can just kind of start beating on. We need people to help organize these counties. That's what, pardon me, that's what this little area here is about. This little thing here, this Facebook Live thing, which will stay up. I don't delete these; they stay up so people can share them and see them later, see them tomorrow, listen to them next week. Get some updated information. But yeah, so we need people to take a county, and we don't need just one. I mean, we could use 5 people, 25 people to say, I'll be a county captain. You get down in like Warren and Macomb, where there's 3, 2, 4, 1.5 million people, you're going to need more than one captain down there. So, we're not in competition with anybody except the government. That's the thing to remember. Government, big pharma, prison industrial complex, Leo, those are our enemies. Those are who we're in competition with. We're not in competition with regulating marijuana like alcohol. When we repeal, the state's going to have to write legislation to allow what they're doing anyways. So they can have their petition. We just take away all their fines and penalties. But see, this is the problem with a lot of those people who are on that side in some ways, and the people that are anti, is they don't want to lose their control. Because their control means their profits and your ass. I'm more concerned about your ass than their profits. But, you know, like tomatoes, you know, this is one of the things. Tomatoes are sold at Walmart, and people are millionaires from growing and selling tomatoes. Not everybody grows their tomatoes and makes their own spaghetti sauce or anything else. You know, the tomato vine can be used for a lot of products, but nobody's using it for a lot of products. But cannabis vine's a lot better. You know, the cannabis stalk is way better than tomato for everything else, and that's the point. When our farmers can be successful and have successful farms again in the state of Michigan, our communities will be successful, our rural communities. When our rural communities are successful, our inner cities are successful. Everybody benefits. Everybody goes good. Literally, from the farm field up, from the ground up, we are literally growing this business. Now, a lot of opponents will say, there's no legislation, there's no laws. Again, think of Second Amendment. Of course there's legislation. Of course there's regulation. Of course there's taxation. There's just no regulation to diminish use and punish you unless you create a victim, and no taxes for specialty things like pot or, you know, liquor or gasoline that doesn't go to fix the roads. Only 40% of the money collected in the gasoline use tax goes to fix the roads. So out of every, I think it's 46 cents, maybe 48 cents a gallon in use tax. For every gallon of gas you pay, the state gets 48 cents of use tax. 20 cents of that is what goes to the road. 28 cents goes to who in the hell knows where. So why do they need more who in the hell knows where tax money? So that's one way to look at it. Let's remind people another way. You know, people, oh, no new taxes. Remember in 2015, on March 5th, we voted for no new taxes. Now, a lot of people think, you know, oh, the money is going to be so good because Colorado's making so much money. Colorado has sold $750 million in taxes. By the time you take out what the state takes off, what they have to spend for their state businesses and the seed-to-sale tracking and all the employment and all the salaries and vacation times and government health care, they maybe got $750 million, or I think it would be 10% maybe of that, or $750,000, sorry. You know, $750,000 going to the schools or the roads is pennies, ladies and gentlemen. It takes $5 million just to budget a school. It takes $50 million to make one, to build one. $50 million to build a mile of road. These are modern day prices. It's insane. $50 million to concrete blacktop 1 mile of road. $750,000 is sure some tax money, but it's pennies. Imagine 6% sales tax off 50,000 products that are not recreational pot that are going to be sold at 6% sales tax. We are talking under Abrogate, we are talking not hundreds of millions, potentially billions with a B and an S at the end in applicable tax money. 50,000 products that can be made out of cannabis that are not medical, not food, not medicine, and not sold to non-taxable industries or religious purposes that are going to get 6% sales tax. And of course, all that other taxation, the business tax, the employment tax, the unemployment tax, the earned income, the gained income, and all the other taxes that come along with holding and opening a business in this country. A lot of businesses are paying 38 to 40% taxes. That's not counting use tax on the product. That's the business taxes. So taxation is all going to be there. So when people say there's no taxes, don't let them either lie to you or be lied to. Correct them. Don't attack them. Say, did you know we only stop use taxes, which is only 6%. All other business taxes, all of the sales taxes, all of the employee expenses taxes, insurance taxes, all those other taxes, capital gain taxes are all included. They just don't get a sin tax, a use tax. So and this is how we got to fight these things. Yeah, you're right there, Braxton. Better than the cartels, which the government is a cartel. Leo is a cartel today. So with that said, we've been about an hour here, so I'm tired of talking, and I'm sure you guys are tired of listening to me again. Anybody got any questions before we head out? I don't think there's anybody on the call. Nope, we still got the elevator music, so nobody on that. So I'm going to go ahead and close down the call-in number on the conference call. I'm going to go ahead and shut that off. We don't need that up anymore. Let that close out. And if anybody's got any questions, go ahead and throw them in the text here, and we'll move forward from there. But yeah, I don't see any more questions. I'll go scroll back up to the top and take a look around. Looks like the very top one was Murray's post, possibly the very first one. So yeah, if you want to be a regional leader, regional 3, 4, 5 counties around your county that you're in, that's what we'll kind of look at it as. County leaders, obviously county leaders. I'm in Midland County. There's 80,000 residents in Midland County, 60,000 registered voters, I think. And I'm so going to be really busy with the main part of this campaign. I'm going to really like to hope I can find 3, 4, 5 people around Midland County, 5, 6, 7, 8 around Bay City and Saginaw, 3 or 4 or 5 over in Clare, a couple over in Isabella, a couple up in Standish, up in Houghton Lake. That's kind of Aranac. Flint is kind of real close, 1 county away. So I'm hoping I can get people in these counties to step up, because I'm not going to have a lot of time to focus on Midland if I'm running everything else. But if we can get much of this running itself through the forum and in our community and township leaders, then the only thing I really need to worry about, besides working with Midland and my area and my local people, is these meetings, going and having these meetings and showing up and answering the questions, and helping everybody coordinate fundraisers. Now, as far as that goes, again, anything you guys want to do, we just got to make sure we're following the eyes. You all can do pretty much anything you want to. You don't need my help at all. Don't need Abrogate's permission or Abrogate's blessings. Do whatever you think is good. Be smart. Don't break the law. And if you're not sure of the law, let me know, and we'll make sure you're clear of it. From there, it's up to you. If you want to do a fundraiser and you raise $100 and you want to send it, you just need to make sure to remember that however you send it over. If you want me to come or somebody at Abrogate to help you with the fundraiser, now we got to get a little bit more detailed in the information. I need to turn this information to the state for the Michigan finance campaign laws, so we'll follow those. I don't want to be, have an issue with campaign finance problems. So we do need to make sure we are following the rules. So if Abrogate's going to be, if we're going to have an Abrogate meeting and I'm going to be holding it or down there talking about it, or somebody is representing Abrogate, we're probably going to need to get that in-kind donation information. If somebody out there are local supporters, pay for a hall and they do everything themselves, that's called an in-kind contribution. So if you do that and you take it all yourself and you don't involve us officially and just do it and give us the donation, all you have fun, totally legal. Just make sure you do campaign finance stuff and fundraisers, because there are some laws there you got to make sure. Anything else, if you want us to down there and it's going to be a big thing, we're going to have a big dinner, then I need to get really into that fundraiser, because we need a little bit more of the financial information for the state. So that's how they make sure nobody's committing campaign finance fraud and stealing money from George Soros illegally and using it to fund their campaigns. So with that being said, you guys can do whatever you want. I only ask that you be respectful to the community, and remember, you're not representing just yourself. You're not representing anybody else who's in the cannabis community. You're not just representing Repeal of Prohibition or Abrogate Prohibition. You're representing a public ballot question committee, and it doesn't matter what it is. It's a public relations situation, and the public will treat us accordingly. Now, if you're in the music business like I am, bad news is good, and it don't matter because bad news goes all the way. And in a way, that applies here. But we don't need really bad news, any of it. We want really good news. And the last thing I'd like to, suggest before we get off here tonight is, as you people are out there petitioning, take Facebook Live. Take pictures of people petitioning. Ask them, do you mind if I show your picture while we're signing the petition? And share the hell out of that stuff. Let people know that we're in it to win it, and so is everybody else. Take that Facebook Live of that meeting. Take that Facebook Live of you out there petitioning. Take that Facebook Live and tweet it, and Instagram it, and Facebook it, and message form it, and shove it up everybody's page. Let them know that it's time to end this insanity, to abrogate prohibition. It's right for Michiganders. It's right for Michigan. I want to thank you all for showing up. I'm going to look down the bottom if there's any more questions. Nope, doesn't look like it. Thanks all for showing up tonight, and it'll probably be a couple days. I'm going to try to get down to Lansing on Wednesday or Monday for the meeting. Chad, if you're still listening, I'd be happy to ride with you down there if you want to. Give me a call and let's hook up and talk about it. From there, thanks for showing up, people. God bless you. Universe love you. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you soon.